Welcome to Next Game's Sortie series. Now, day 3 is upon us, and I fortunately had much more success than I did in day 2, though my entry time has grown each day, with it being 30 minutes on the first day, an hour yesterday, and an hour and a half today. All done around midnight time in Japan. Now, it looks like if you wait until later in the day, that there is much less congestion on most servers, so keep this in mind. Let's go ahead and get right into today's run. So in yesterday's run, I wasn't able to trigger a chest by resting or by using any self-enhancing ninjutsu near I-5. But after yesterday's run, it was discovered that you need to rest right after the first A gate, and that I was actually visiting the wrong I-5 for the self-enhancing ninjutsu step. So today we're going to test out both of these in the new locations and see if they work. Now in addition to that, it seems that killing all the mobs on map 1 does not spawn the Leech NM, and instead it's thought to be roaming around and possibly past the D gate at times, which is why some people aren't seeing it on wide scan. So I put that to the test today as well. Lastly, the metal key item that has been so elusive for me has now been thought to be dropped after multiple magic damage kills, but only if that's the first magic damage that the mob sees. Since I've been dual magic bursting the last 2 days and had Shantoto 2 in my party, this may explain why I've not seen it. So in today's run, I intend on taking a different approach. I'm first not going to be using Shantoto 2 in my party. In fact, I'm only going to be using 4 Trust, as I don't want anyone interfering with my skill chains or adding any magic damage. I'm going to clear as many mobs as possible using magic damage only as the killing blow, and making sure that it's for over 25,000 damage in each occasion, to see if it triggers the chest that drops that last key item, being the metal. Let's go ahead and delve into my run and see which of these things worked and which of them didn't. So to start with, I went up north instead of going down south on map 1, as I have done in the last 2 days, to see if the Leech NM was immediately available up there. He was not. So I then proceeded to kill all of the AQX mobs in that northern area while continually checking wide scan for the Leech NM. It was never seen in the 8 minutes it took me to kill all the mobs up there, so I then headed to the southern area of map 1 to kill all the AQX mobs there. I do have 2 quick notes before we go on. The first is after the 5th enemy kill, a blue chest that gave me 100 gallon free dropped, and this is the 3rd day in a row it's done that. So it appears that after 5 kills you'll almost always get that blue chest that gives you 100 gallon free. I also want to point out that the specific way I'm killing all the mobs today is in 2 different fashions. The one that I'm mainly using is I'm starting the fight using Shun Shun to light skill chain and do 40 to 45% of the mob's total health. Then I'll do another Shun Shun to do another 40 to 45% of the mob's health, and then use a Reitan San Magic Burst for the last 10 to 20% of that mob's health, which will always kill them, with the Magic Burst hitting for 30 to 40,000 damage. Now, I was able to successfully do this on over 30 mobs today, and I did not see a single chest appear. I also mixed in a second way of killing them. 10 of them I killed with multi-step kills, which involved me using 10, Kamu, and then Shun, and once that skill chained into light, I went ahead and used Fute and then Reitan San, which hit for 60 to 80,000 damage. And during those 10 kills, again, no chest dropped. So sadly, there seems to be more to this strategy than just simple MB kills. Now, it may have to do with the type of element, or something along those lines. So tomorrow, I intend on mixing up other elements into my Magic Burst strategies to see if triggering the chest relies upon using a certain element to kill the enemy. Let's go ahead and get back to my run now. After I cleared the northern section, I went to the southern section and looked for the Leech NM and killed all the mobs in that southern section while waiting for that Leech NM to come back through D gate. It never happened, so I then went headed back north again and looked for it again, and the Leech NM was still not present. Now, since all of the mobs on map 1 are dead, this all but confirms that killing all the mobs on map 1 does not spawn the Leech, and that the idea of it roaming between the maps behind D gate is very likely. Now, since map 1 was clear, I moved on to map 2. Now, as soon as we enter map 2, we want to try to rest here, and as soon as we get the first resting tick, we have success and another chest. So this one was a success today and works. Now, of course, there's sadly only 100 gallon free in this chest, but it's another one of these 7 that we can check off our list. Next, I killed all of the leeches in the topmost section of map 2, with the same MB pattern described before, with no chest dropping. So I then moved on to map 3 to take on Hekdais, as we didn't really get to experience them yesterday. I was able to take out the entire room of Hekdais in the exact same weapon skill pattern as the leeches and AQX mobs we had done before. Once that large section of that room was clear, I headed to the southern Hekdai room that you see here. Note that all this leaves is around 10 AQX mobs on map 3 in the eastern section, and 10 Hekdai mobs in the small room in the southern section of map 3. However, where you really want to go now is the spot I'm marking on your map, where you will find another diaphanous device A. Now, unlike the one that lets you warp to the NM boss that I showed you in episode 1, this one lets you reset all the mobs in Zone A or teleport back to the start of map 1. Before we do that though, this is the device at I-5 that people refer to, so let's go ahead and try our self-enhancing ninjutsu and see what happens. And look at that, we successfully triggered another chest to spawn by using a self-enhancing spell. We now have successfully triggered 5 of the 7 coffers. Now that it's triggered, I could respawn all of the mobs that I want to from this device, but I want to test the theory of the leech roaming around, so I now use the device to head back to the start of map 1 to check on that leech NM. I check the southern part first with no luck, but then I find the leech NM in the north. This all but confirms that what it does is roam past that D gate, and what I just did is what I recommend you do on your runs if you're after him. Check for him right there at the start, and if you don't see him, go ahead and clear map 1. And if he doesn't spawn or appear by the time that you finish clearing map 1, go ahead and move on to the rest of Zone A. And then if you have time, come back at the end to check to see if he's appeared by then. Now in my kill of the NM today, I once again did not get the Sapphire to drop that the others have been reporting, but I was lucky enough to get an old case with a Dragoon earring inside. Now it has the stats of Wyvern level +1, physical damage limit +7, subtle blow +5, and accuracy and magic accuracy +6. With the time that I had left, I headed to map 2 and was able to finish taking out all of the remaining leeches and AQX mobs on it with a few minutes to spare. So I was able to clear all of map 1 and 2 and most of 3 while still trying all of these things out in this run. So it looks like soloers in the future can look to possibly clear all 3 of the first maps once we have a little more clarity on triggers and as the master levels rise. That's going to be it for what I learned on day 3. I hope you're finding this helpful. I am very hopeful that we will find a way to collect that metal key item tomorrow with me trying to kill with magic of differing elements. If this is your first visit to my channel and you enjoyed the content, please be sure to click the subscribe button under the video and the bell icon next to it to be notified when my future videos are released. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. Stay safe and stay healthy out there.